Good evening and welcome to Atlantic Television Network Global News at 9 p.m. First, the headlines. Police arrest suspects for kidnapping. Oti swears in Abia local government chairman. Tinubu swears in 7 new ministers. Marketers deny importing substandard fuel. UK to raise university's tuition fees. Grammy winner Jones dies at 91. Nigeria vows to protect citizens in Libya. And now to the rest of our stories. Excited by the recent judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja Division, the Rivers State House of Assembly on Monday, at its 64th legislative sitting of the second session, applauded the sound and well-considered judgment of Honorable Justice J. O. Abdulmalik of the Federal High Court in Abuja Division on the stoppage of the Rivers State government from withdrawing from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the state until the 2024 appropriation bill is presented before the Assembly. The commendation came while members were commenting on the judgment, which was presented by the leader of the House, Honorable Major Jack, on that statement by the leader. The document, which was received and adopted as a working document of the House, elicited propitious comments from members who described the judgment as a face of constitutional democracy. Speaking on the judgment, the Speaker, Right Honorable Martin Amehude, said, since 1st of July 2024, Governor Fubara has been spending monies of the state without approval, hence the declaration of the shutdown of expenditure. Yet, the governor, in his characteristic manner of disobeying judgments of the court, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and extant laws, has continued to circumvent the law with the aid of permanent secretaries and some individuals who paraded themselves as commissioners, adding that they will certainly have a date with the law. Speaking further, the Speaker thanked members for their steadfastness and urged them to continue in their defense of democracy, adding that those who trample on the country's gundam will be made to account for their malfeasance. A different story, information reaching our desk indicates that detectives detached to the Mile 1 Divisional Police Headquarters in Diob, Port Harcourt, have rescued a 6-month-old male child, Lucky, Sunday, kidnapped by one Mr. Erica. The child's parent, co-tenant at 24 Aneke Lane, Street, Mile 2, Diob, on Sunday, 29 September 2024, recorded that Mr. Erica abducted the 6-month-old child belonging to his co-tenant and ran away to Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Detectives from Mile 1 Police Division trailed the suspect Erica to Uyo State, arrested him, and brought him back to Port Harcourt 2 weeks ago. Erica was said to have sold the baby for 500,000 naira. Sources disclosed to our news desk that the prime suspect revealed to the police during interrogation that the person who bought the child took the child to Enugu State. Following discreet investigation, the detectives attached to the Mile 1 Police Division rescued the child on Sunday, 3rd November 2024, and arrested the female buyer and 4 other suspects, bringing the total to 6 suspects who are currently detained at the Mile 1 Police Station, Diob, Port Harcourt. Meanwhile, Rights Advocate Prince Wiro, who is also the National Coordinator for Center and Basic Rights Accountability, has commended the police officers for their hard work and due diligence in rescue of the child and arrest of 6 suspects. We now move on to Edo State, where embattled Deputy Governor Godwin Omobayo has been ordered to appear in person before the Abuja Federal High Court on November 26th. The court ordered Omobayo to appear over alleged disobedience to court judgments. Justice James Omotosho in the ruling held that the order was to give Omobayo, the alleged contemnor, a fair hearing and the opportunity to defend himself in line with Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The reinstated Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shuaibu, had filed a contempt charge for Omobayo to be committed to prison for refusal to vacate office despite a valid court judgment. Justice Omotosho had on July 17th voided the impeachment of Shuaibu as the Deputy Governor of Edo State by the House of Assembly. The judge in the judgment ordered his reinstatement to office on the grounds that the Edo House of Assembly failed to comply with due process in the purported impeachment. The judge also held that the allegation on which the Assembly based the impeachment proceedings was untenable in law and did not constitute gross misconduct. Delivering the ruling, Justice Omotosho adjourned the matter until November 26th for a proper hearing. Analysts believe that until a formal petition is made to the FCC, Obaseki cannot be investigated. Speaking of Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, a security expert, Jackson Ojo, maintained that until stakeholders petition the FCC to investigate the finances of the Edo State government, nothing can be done about the matter.
Somebody said they are blaming the EFCC. The EFCC has not arrested, EFCC has not intervened, all this and that. Have they made any allegation to the EFCC? EFCC is just like court of law. If there is no prayer before a judge in a court, what do you expect the judge to do? If there is no allegation, petition against the government of Edo State by certain persons, stakeholders, to EFCC, how do you expect EFCC to come and to go for arrest? No. Now there are possible.
Chief Jackson advised the Edo State governor to welcome the development as a means to prove his innocence against the allegations of financial mismanagement by his administration.
Obaseki should be very, very happy and welcome the development, whereas the EFCC are sprung into action now to arrest. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Because if you do not commit an offense and EFCC is coming, you have not committed any financial crime, EFCC is coming. At the end of the day, there is no way the EFCC will come and implant something in the record of the administration. No. At the end of the day, let EFCC come. It will even make you come out cleaner. Right. At the end.
Recall on Sunday, group of political leaders and stakeholders in Edo State asked the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to investigate officials who had served under Governor Godwin Obaseki administration for the last 8 years. Leading opposition party in Cross River State has stated in Calabar that last weekend's local government council elections were a monumental fraud never being witnessed in the state. State chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Venatius Ikem, who signed the statement, said the state never in the political history of Cross River State have the electorate witnessed the kind of monumental electoral fraud perpetrated on Saturday. Ikem alleged that from the outset, the processes for conducting the polls were skewed to favor the ruling All Progressives Congress. According to him, from the composition of the electoral umpire, friends and relatives of government officials were installed to do their bidding. He stated that they had underestimated the charade that the electoral umpire was organizing in the name of the local government elections. The party alleged that the ruling party used the State Independent Electoral Commission, deliberately hoarded and diverted election materials meant for the elections in the state to facilitate massive rigging. In Abia State, Governor Alex Otti on Monday swore in Abia 17 local government chairman elected last Saturday with a charge for them to run the local government areas with the vision of Abia first and continue the work for the socio-economic transformation of Abia from their various local government areas. The mayors elected are Timothy Heke of Abar North, Ayanwo Bilo of Abar South, Okere Zioru Arochukwu, Oabunkoye Basi of Bende, Dr. Anthony Mwabani of Ikwano, Innocent Urakba, Isialanga North, Nadozie Nwogugu, Isialanga South, and Chinedu Ekeke, Isukwato. Others are Maxwell Nwadike of Obingwa, Eleya Oju Carlo of Ohafia, Chidi Christian Agu of Osisioma, Ihanacho Chemela Mwagbaru of Chibunakara of Uko East, Pastor Dike Nwako of Okwa West, Smart Ihoma of Umuahia North, Chiwendu Emerozu of Umuahia South, and Sunday Afurike of Umunnochi. In his speech titled Development and a New Philosophy of Leadership, Oti tasked them to solve the basic problems that have bedeviled the people in various communities for ages. The Delta State Electoral Commission had on Sunday presented certificates of return to the newly elected mayors of the 17 local government areas in the state, 15 ZLP and 2 YPP members, presenting the certificate of return to the ABSEC headquarters in Umuahia. The chairperson of ABSEC, Professor George Chima, charged the mayors to align themselves with the good job Governor Alex Oti is doing in the state, adding that what Abia needs is a holistic representation and good governance. Responding on behalf of others after the swearing-in, the mayor of Isukwa Ato, Chinedu Ekeke, assured that they will work in line with Oti's vision for the state. Lagos State Emergency Management Agency has confirmed that a market around Ajah area of the state was engulfed by fire, destroying shops and goods worth millions of naira. Olufemi Oke, Osayin Tolu, Permanent Secretary of the agency, confirmed this on Monday in a statement. According to him, the fire incident occurred on Sunday night at Ajah Market by Alesh bus stop in Lekki, Lagos. He further stated that there was no casualties or injuries recorded at the incident scene. He added that properties worth a fortune were destroyed in the inferno and that the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service were able to curtail the fire from escalating to adjoining buildings. In Osun State, the police command has confirmed the arrest of a man identified as Saidi for the alleged murder of his father, Bale, in his farm at Ilishu, Osun State. The Osun State police spokesperson, Yemisi Opalola, who confirmed the arrest, disclosed that the investigation has commenced into the matter. Opalola said the suspect was arrested on the suspicion that he killed the father and that he has been briefed about it. ATN gathered that Saidu had decapitated his father, Bale, on his farm on the day he was to begin harvesting his produce. A resident of the village, simply identified as Sakari Yau, said that Bale went missing last Thursday, and after a thorough search through the village, his corpse was found on his farm and the following day covered with leaves. Osun State House of Assembly has passed the Lotteries and Gaming Bill and the Estate Agency Regulatory Authority Establishment Bill into law. Both bills were passed into law during a plenary session presided over by the Speaker of the Assembly, Adewale Egbegun. The passage of both bills, Speaker Egbegun said, will mark another notable achievement in the Assembly's legislative agenda. ATN gathered that from a statement issued by the spokesperson of to the Speaker, Olamide Taimuyu, that the Lottery and Gaming Bill, sponsored by the Speaker, aims to establish Osun Lotteries and Gaming Board, a regulatory framework that harmonizes all laws relating to lottery gaming activities within the state. The statement also revealed that the bill ensures to seek transparency, ethical practices, and compliance among operators in the gaming industry. Speaker Egbegun highlighted the importance of the bills in promoting transparency and accountability in their respective industries. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has expressed optimism that the Ondo State governorship election on November 16th would be a successful exercise. Yakubu said the commission had learned its lessons from the last governorship election in Edo State in September and other previous elections in the area of logistics and results management during elections. The chairman stated this on Monday during the visit to the House headquarters of the commission in Akure, the state capital. On his mission to the state, the INEC boss explained that he was in Ondo to assess the preparation of the state office of the commission ahead of the November 16 poll. He said the commission had received positive reports from state office in Akure, but they were yet to decide also to come for readiness of assessment. So they were basically there to look at what good is happening and the good work the state office had done. Still on Ondo State, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa had assured workers in the state that his administration has no plan to downsize. Aiyedatiwa made the promise on Monday in Akure during the Ondo State Public Service Week celebration lecture with the team, creating and managing a future-ready public service, a pathway to sustainable development. The governor also assured the workers of his administration's commitment to prompt and regular payment of salaries, allowances, and pensions. Aida Atiwa, while assuring the workers of payment of the new minimum wage, congratulated them for the 2024 celebration. Earlier, the head of service, Mr. Bayo Philip, appreciated the governor for his moral and physical support towards the welfare of public servants in the state. Philip thanked the governor for his constant payments of workers' salaries, key appointments, and the promotions of over 5,000 civil servants in the state. He stressed the essential role of the public service in fostering forward-thinking governance and highlighted the administration's commitment to regular salary payments, pensions, and the provision of 2024 leave bonuses. In a different story, Federal High Court in Ibadan on Monday sentenced a 25-year-old drug trafficker named Ibrahim Abdulatif to 6 months in prison over unlawful possession of 700 grams of hemp. Delivering judgment, Justice Uche Agomo stated that the convicted Abdulatif, based on evidence tendered against him by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, as well as his plea of guilt. Agomo said that she took note of Section 270 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, which stipulates that anyone who pleaded guilty to an offense should be given a reduced sentence. He said this was because the convict did not waste the precious time of the court and taxpayers' money. The defense counsel, Mr. Mushaibu Olapade, had, shortly after the judgment was delivered, prayed the court to temper justice with mercy in sentencing his client. Olapade said the convict had confided in him that he would turn a new leaf henceforth. Earlier, the NDLA counsel in Oyo State, Ms. O.O. Olorunshola, had told the court that the convict was arraigned on a count charge bordering on unlawful possession of narcotics. Human Rights Fighters Association of Nigeria has described as timely the decision of the Ministry of Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Ezemo Yesomwike, to profile vehicles in the nation's capital beginning from January 2025. Wike had recently announced plans for the Federal Capital Territory Administration to gradually phase out tricycle operations in the parts of Abuja city center. The minister also disclosed plans to conduct security profiling of commercial buses and taxi operators within the FCT, adding that they must also operate with the Abuja taxi color. Supporting the move, Hurewa expressed that the police and Department of State Services must ensure that the exercise of vetting and profiling commercial drivers is not converted to avenues for coordinated exploitation or extortion to customers. They further emphasized computerizing and security profiling of commercial drivers, suggesting that the office has made up of staff drawn jointly from the FCT commands of the Nigerian Police Force, the FCT Directorate of Department State Services, FCT commands of the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps, and Nigerian Immigration Services. It warned against the imposition of fees payable by drivers whose security profiles are being captured, noting that unscrupulous individuals, agents, or criminal barons could infiltrate and corrupt the system. A different story, scores of Nigerians gathered in Abuja on Monday, launching a large-scale protest over escalating fuel costs, chronic fuel shortages, and mounting economic hardship, led by Abdullahi Bilal, the 2 million man march against oil scam cabal, and Barrister Napoleon Otache and Olayemi Isaac from Citizens and Economic Freedom Rights activists in Nigeria. The demonstrators demanded immediate action to address what they described as failed leadership in managing the country's oil sector. Central to the protests were grievances over skyrocketing fuel prices and the never-ending queues, which they argued have driven inflation and plunged millions of Nigerians into poverty. The demonstrators condemned the current fuel subsidy regime, claiming it has only served to enrich a select few while leaving the majority struggling with high prices. They called for full deregulation in the oil sector to ensure transparency, competition, and fairer fuel pricing. The protesters also decried the importation of adulterated fuel, which they said is a corrupt practice that harms citizens by damaging vehicles and businesses. They demanded an immediate halt to these imports and accountability for those responsible, questioning how substandard fuel continues to appear and to enter the country despite quality control assurances. They urged President Bola Tinubu to intervene by overhauling leadership in the oil sector, enforcing greater accountability, and putting citizens' needs first. They continued to vowed to continue mobilizing until the demands for reform and transparency are met. In Nasarawa State, the Independent Electoral Commission has officially presented certificates of return to the 13 newly elected chairman of local government areas in the state. The ceremony held at NASEC headquarters on Monday marked the culmination of the local government polls in which All Progressives Congress, APC, claimed all 13 chairmanship positions. During the ceremony, NASEC chairman Ayuba Usman Wandai described the election as a transparent and credible process that reflected the will of the people. The APC dominated the elections, winning 140 out of 147 councillorship positions across the wards. The SDP secured 5 councillorship seats, while the Zenith Labour Party won 2. Wanda expressed gratitude to all stakeholders, including security agencies, traditional rulers, and Inter-Party Advisory Council, and the media for their contributions to the peaceful and orderly conduct of the elections. He also acknowledged the support of Governor Abdullahi Sule and the Nasarawa State House of Assembly, which he said was instrumental in ensuring the success of the polls. Moving on, bandits have attacked the Turare community in Dutsin Ma local government area of Katsina State. The bandits abducted one activist, Ibrahim Mai Katai, during the invasion. While the activist was shot, his 2 wives were abducted to an unknown destination. Kaita is known for his advocacy for good governance and has been vocal and critical voice in efforts to improve the region. Banditry, kidnapping and terrorism have been in the rise in Katsina for the last few years, and many attacks have been unreported. The state government, led by Umar Diko Rada, has also ramped up efforts aimed at addressing the situation, while the creation of Katsina Vigilante Service, a community policing initiative, had been formed. The latest attack is an indication that more needs to be done to reverse the current trend in the state. Move on to Kaduna State, where the police command said it has rescued 2 kidnapped victims and recovered 283 rustled cows and 20 sheep. A statement by the command's PPRO ASP Mansir Hassan said 5 suspects were also arrested in due course. He said on the 31st of October 2024, operatives from the anti-kidnapping unit led by SP Sani Ibrahim Zantu acted on credible intelligence, leading them to remote areas of Gora village, where they arrested the suspects and retrieved the livestock suspected to be stolen. The statement named the arrested as Danjuma Alhaji Nguma, a 25-year-old, Saleh Shehu, a 35-year-old, Isaiah Abdullahi, 35, Abubakar Issa, 13-year-old, and Aminu Abdullahi, also known as Kanu, 13. According to the suspect's statement, the suspect would face court proceedings after preliminary investigations. In other developments, officers from the Ikara division responded to the reports of suspected bandit activity near Kuyan Magaji Achwan village. It said upon arrival, the police engaged the bandits in gunfight, prompting them to flee, while 2 kidnapped victims, Ibrahim Abdullahi and Hafsat Yusuf, were rescued and taken to the hospital for medical evaluation after being reunited with their families. Ahead of the festive season, the federal government, through the Federal Road Safety Agency, has launched a major road repair initiative to improve traffic flow across federal highways nationwide. During the flag-off of the Operation Connect to Your Destination, Phase 2 in Kano State, FEMA Managing Director Engineer Chukwuemeka Agbasi outlined the project's targets. By the end of the exercise, FEMA aims to patch 18,850 square meters of road surface, rehabilitate 12,000 failed sections, complete 2,700 square meters of road overlay, and make 653 kilometers of road motorable. The agency has strategically mapped out traffic-prone areas, prioritizing them for maintenance to ensure the maximum positive impact on road users. Agbasi added that the project is expected to generate over 12,000 jobs, contributing to economic growth in the process. Engineer Sani Abdul Kadir, head of FEMA's Directive of Labour Department, noted that the road works are scheduled for completion by mid-December to avoid interruptions during the Yuletide period. Kano State Federal Road Safety Corps Sector Commander Umar Matazu, represented by Deputy Corps Marshal Abdul Salam Kabiru, welcomed the initiative, urging drivers to exercise caution and drive responsibly once the maintenance is complete. Do not forget that you're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll take a short break and we'll be back after it. A warm welcome back to the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. Analyst says that the detention of minors by the court for treason is against the human rights of the children. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Blowout, Alfred El Nino, a public affairs analyst, believes that the children also have constitutional rights and therefore cannot be detained over a period of time or charged without due process.
Globally, in other parts of Africa, leave the Western developed world for now. In other parts of Africa, this cannot happen. That you are holding minors. And if you look at it, these children have their constitutional rights as minors. You can't detain a minor for a specific time without going through the proliferings. But here in Nigeria, no, this is the only country where you see people contravening and also violating human rights laws vehemently, and nobody says anything. Can this happen in sub-Saharan Africa or North Africa? No.
On his part, social affairs analyst Ebere Joshua cited the Child Protection Act, stated that the actions of the federal government is contrary to the constitutional laws.
213 or so, that they engage what they've done is against it, because you don't give same punishment to a child that should mean for an adult to a child. These are children, these are minors, and looking at the video, you see that most of them are less than 18.
We recall that over the weeks and days, Nigerians have expressed outrage over the arraignment of 76 suspects, including the 32 minors, before Justice Obiora Egwato of the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court for participating in the End Bad Governance protest in August. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has directed that all minors arrested and facing prosecution in court over their alleged involvement in the End Bad Governance protest should immediately be released without prejudice to the law. President Tinubu also directed the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction to see the welfare of the minors. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed this while briefing State House of Assembly correspondents in Abuja. The minister said that the president said that on all law enforcement agencies involved in the arrest, detention and prosecution of the minors be investigated, and anyone found culpable would face appropriate disciplinary action. The president, in a different story, has sworn in 7 newly appointed ministers at the council chambers of Aso Rock Presidential Villa in Abuja. Those sworn in include Netanwe Yitaldu as the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Muhammadu Maigara Dingia as the Minister of Labour and Employment, Bianca Odinaka Odumegu Ojukwu as the Minister of State Foreign Affairs. Others are Jumoke Oduwole, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Idi Mukhtar Maha of Development, Livestock Development, Yusuf Abdullahi Yatta, Minister of State, Housing and Urban Development, and Shuaibu Said Ahmed as Minister of Education. In his address to the ministers, Tinubu asked them not to shy away from responsibilities. Monday's swearing-in came days after appointment by the President and subsequent confirmation by the Senate. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said his administration has been able to reduce the debt servicing burden of the nation from 97% to 65%. Tinubu, while congratulating the new ministers for accepting to serve the country at this challenging time, said they should be ready for abuses and criticism from Nigerians, but must not lose focus on making lives better for over 200 million Nigerians. Tinubu said this on Monday after swearing in the 7 new ministers appointed into his cabinet recently. Ambassador Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, the new Minister of the State for Foreign Affairs, on Monday said that she is fully committed to the foreign policy thrust of President Bola Tinubu's administration. The wife of the late Ikemba Newi Dim, Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu, was among the 7 new ministers that were administered in with the oath of office by President Tinubu at the Council Chamber, Presidential Villa in Abuja. Speaking to the State House correspondents after the swearing-in ceremony, Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, who once won the Most Beautiful Girl pageant in Nigeria, said that the country will be leveraging on the African Continental Free Trade Area to encourage and harness its economic potentials. When asked that what she would be bringing to the table based on the fact that she had served on foreign mission before, she promised to strengthen democratic institutions all over Africa. Also speaking to journalists, the Minister of Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, echoed similar sentiments regarding Nigeria's economic potential. Oduwole stressed the need to optimize the AfCFTA for Nigeria's businesses and ensure that both domestic and foreign investments are all retained. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has insisted that the outcome of the 2023 presidential elections was manipulated by the ruling All Progressives Congress. Atiku's assertion followed an attack on him by the presidency over his criticism of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's policies. We recall that the presidential candidate of the PDP had, while lamenting the untold hardship bedeviling Nigerians, said he would have done better if he emerged as president in the 2023 general elections. In a swift response by Onanuga, Tinubu's media aide said Nigeria would have been worse if Atiku had won. Onanuga mocked Atiku, saying Nigerians rejected him by voting for Tinubu. Reacting to Onanuga's outbursts, Atiku, in a statement on Monday, said he did not lose the election. Office of the Accountant General of the Federation has confirmed the deactivation of integrated personnel and payroll information system for federal tertiary institutions. This follows the Federation's decision to remove these institutions from the IPPS platform. The Director of Press and Public Relations of OAGF, Bawa Mokwa, revealed this in an interview with News Letters. Mokwa stated it was only natural for the IPPIS platform for FTIs to be shut down, given the federal government's directive to remove them from the system. He added that November salaries for FTIs will be processed through the government's integrated financial management information system. Institutions are required to prepare their payroll in Excel format and submit them to the IPPS for certification and validation. In response to concerns about possible changes to salary account details, the OGF clarified that Moka also emphasized that workers' welfare remains a top priority, ensuring that no misleading or panic-induced instructions would be given henceforth. Court of Appeal in Abuja had discharged the acquitted former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Samuel Nkanu Onogen, from his conviction for false asset declaration by the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Onogen's conviction, handed down on April 18, 2019 by the Omar Yakubu Danladi Tribunal, was overturned by the Appellate Court following the resolution of the issues that led to his conviction. Justice Abba Bello Mohammed, in the judgment based on the terms of settlements adopted by the federal government and Onogen, ordered that the 4 bank accounts previously ordered to be forfeited be returned to him. In a brief statement, Onogen's lawyers, Adeboyega Owomolo and Ogu James Onoja, both senior advocates of Nigeria, expressed gratitude to President Tinubu and the Attorney General of the Federation for ensuring the resolution of the issues. Federal High Court in Abuja has issued an arrest warrant for the managing director of Dana Air, Mr. Hathai Mani Ranesh, due to his alleged failure to appear in court. The Attorney General of the Federation had filed a 6-count charge against Ranesh and 2 others. In count 1, Ranesh and the 2 companies alongside others at large were alleged to have committed a felony between September and December 2018 within the premises of the DANA Steel Rolling Factory in Katsina. They were alleged to have conspired to remove, convert, and sell 4 units of industrial generators, 3 units of HT 9000 kVA, and 1 unit of 1000 kVA, valued over 450 million naira, which form part of the deed of assets debenture that were charged as collateral security for a bond issued in their favor, which deed is still subsisting at all material times. In country, the defendants and others at large at house number 116 Oshodi Apapa Expressway in Solo, Lagos, between April 7th and 8th, 2014, were alleged to have conspired to fraudulently divert the sum of 864 million naira. The money was said to be part of the bond proceeds from EcoBank meant for the resuscitation of production at Dana Steel Rolling Factory in Katsina for other unapproved uses. Justice Obiora Igwatu ruled that Ranesh's arrest was necessary after he has served with charges and failed to attend multiple court proceedings. The judge held that according to Section 184 of the Administration of the Criminal Justice Act 2015, the court is authorized to issue an arrest warrant for any defendant who does not show up in court. Justice Egwatu, who gave his ruling, ordered that Ranesh should be arrested and brought to court on the next adjourned date. We now move on to business news. Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has denied an allegation by Aliko Dangote Group and its substandard premium motor spirits that it imported substandard petroleum motor spirits in Nigeria. Dangote Refinery on Sunday accused petroleum marketers of importing cheaper substandard petrol into Nigeria. However, reacting, Ukadike said that Dangote Refinery's claim is baseless and untrue. According to him, the issue of bad fuel had been resolved in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. Last week Friday, Ipman hinted at plans to source cheaper petrol for Nigerians amidst higher ex-depot prices of Dangote petrol. Recall that upon lifting of Dangote petrol on September 15, 2024, NNPCL hiked fuel prices. There have been several petrol hikes since then, which took fuel between 1,000 to 1,300 naira per litre. And on to international tidbits. Fresh ledger poll released by the New York Post has showed that U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump and Democratic candidate Kamala Harris are running neck and neck ahead of the presidential election. Both candidates have 49% support ahead of Tuesday's vote, while the other 2% of respondents said they would vote for someone else. Trump and Harris are equally expected to improve America's quality of life at 44% each. However, the Republican candidate took advantage of his Democratic rival in terms of the clarity of his economic strategic plan at 45% against 42%. The poll was conducted from October 31st to November 3rd among 950 likely voters, with the margin of error not exceeding 3 points. Administration of Prime Minister Keir Starmer in the United Kingdom is planning to increase tuition fees in universities in the country effective from September 2025. The increase is going to be the first in 8 years. Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson is expected to announce the tuition fees rise in line with the retail price index inflation. The rise fees are expected to come into force from September 2025, meaning that it will affect A-level students who are currently applying to universities. Tuition fees have remained frozen at €9,250 since 2017. It is unclear which month's inflation figures the Labour Party government will choose to link fees to, but matching them to the current rate of 2.7%, this would see fees rise to €9,500 from the next year. Previous reports suggest that the government would raise tuition fees to €10,500 over the next 5 years. The move follows growing concerns that the many institutions are now facing financial crisis, with 40% of English universities expecting to slump into deficits this year. At least 36 people have died and several others have been injured after a bus fell into a 50-meter deep gorge in India's northern state of Uttarakhand. The accident occurred in Marchula, a hilly area in the Almora district, where officials say the driver lost control of the vehicle, which was carrying 44 passengers. Uttarakhand state government has launched an inquiry into the incident. Buses serve as the primary mode of transport in the mountainous states, where road accidents are a recurring issue due to the challenging terrain and crowded roads. The bus was en route to Ramnagar district when it careened off the road on Monday morning. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended his condolences to the families of the victims, announcing financial aid of 200,000 rupees for the families of the deceased and 50,000 rupees for those injured. At least 10 people have been killed after Mount Lewatobi Laki erupted on Indonesia's Flores Island early on Monday. According to reports, the eruption, which began just before midnight, sent fiery lava and rocks raining down on nearby villages, damaging homes and sparking fires within a 4-kilometer radius. The Indonesian Center for Volcanology and Geological Disaster Mitigation, PVMG, raised the alert for volcano to its highest levels, mandating evacuations within a 7-kilometer radius. Local officials, Hieronymus Lamuran, reported that evacuations began Monday morning, with residents relocated to safer areas approximately 20 kilometers from the crater. The eruption has directly impacted 7 villages and a state of emergency has been declared for the next 58 days. This declaration enables the central government to provide aid for approximately 10,000 affected residents. The Indonesian Disaster Agency warned of potential flash floods and cold lava flows as volcanic material mixes with rainfall, increasing the risk on the coming days. And now on to entertainment news. Renowned U.S. record and TV producer Quincy Delight Jones, whose career spanned over 70 years, has passed away at the age of 91. This was confirmed by Jones' publicist Arnold Robinson. He revealed that Jones died on Sunday night at his home in Bel Air, Los Angeles, surrounded by family. Jones collaborated with numerous iconic figures in the entertainment industry, including Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra, Ray Charles, and Will Smith. He is best known for producing Jackson's groundbreaking Thriller album, which sold over 20 million copies in 1983 alone and remains one of the best-selling albums of all time. As a music composer and songwriter, he also oversaw the all-star recording of the 1985 charity single, We Are the World. In 1968, Jones made history as the first African-American nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song for The Eyes of Love from the film Burning. Jones won 28 Grammy Awards out of 80 nominations and was recognized by Times Magazine as one of the most influential jazz musicians of the 20th century. We now move on to ATN Sports. Minister of Foreign Affairs has reaffirmed the government's commitment to protecting its citizens in Libya following a recent ruling by the Confederation of African Football against the Libyan Football Association. The CAF decision cited Libya for alleged mistreatment of the Nigerian team during a Nations Cup qualifying match. The ministry, in a statement signed by the spokesperson, Ambassador Eche Abu Obe, on Sunday, confirmed that Nigerians in Libya are safe and going about their daily activities without interference. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs wished to reiterate that the well-being of Nigerian citizens anywhere in the world is top priority of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and will continue to strive to safeguard it at all times. Nigeria's Flamingos won the Fair Play Award at the just concluded FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in Dominican Republic. Bankole Oluwokore's side were rewarded for their exemplary behavior in the tournament. The Flamingos picked the least number of bookings during the competition. The West Africans were eliminated by the United States of America in the quarterfinals, going down to a 2-0 loss. The Nigerian girls won all 3 group games before succumbing to the firepower of the Americans. North Korea claimed the title after beating Spain 4-3 on penalties in the final. In a different story, Real Madrid boss Carlo Ancelotti has finally congratulated the winner of the 2024 Ballon d'Or winner, Rodri. Recall that Rodri recently won this year's Ballon d'Or ahead of Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr. under suspicious circumstances. Ancelotti, Vinicius and the rest of Real Madrid members boycotted the awarded ceremony in Paris, France. They were disappointed with the outcome of the Ballon d'Or. However, speaking to the media ahead of Real Madrid's UEFA Champions League clash with AC Milan, also insisted that the Los Blancos won their own Ballon d'Or in June 1st. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major headlines. Police arrest suspect for kidnapping. Oti swears in Abia local government chairman. Tinubu swears in 7 new ministers. Marketers deny importing substandard fuel. UK to raise universities' tuition fees. Grammy Award winner Jones dies at 91. Nigeria vows to protect citizens in Libya. I am King David Obasi. Thank you so far for watching. Stay connected with us and continue with us on our social media platforms. Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching.